Hints on child training. Henry Clay Trumbull was born in 1830 and died in 1903. And he was a famous author, clergyman, editor. And he put into this little treasure here, Hints on Child Training, a lot of parent advice on raising our children and training them. It's been called the single best book ever written on child training. So obviously we have it and we read it and we found it to be tremendously valuable. Because it was written so long ago, it actually has a charm of the Old English. So don't worry about that. It's just a little different, but it just adds an element of charm. And what is in it is pertinent today. I think even more so than ever, considering the fast-paced world that we're living in. I just found that parents can be pulled in every direction and not know what is the right methodology for raising your children, to spank or not to spank, to let them be free or to train their wills and so on. There's just so much advice out there. But this, having been written over 100 years ago, doesn't mean it's out of date, because it is based on the Word of God. And so what Henry Clay Trumbull has done for us is he is actually guiding parents according to biblical standards and morals and principles and so on. So really, how can you go wrong with that? Come back to the Word and get our guidance and direction for training our children from there. And that's what he has helped us to do with this little book. I believe that another reason why it's such a favorite is because it is written from a very loving, caring point of view. It's not threatening or instructive or commanding. In fact, what comes through is the sense of the author having the child's heart in mind and training that child in discipline, in a loving discipline, just training him or her out of bad habits that could perhaps be detrimental to them in their future. Parents have shared with me that they don't find parenting coming naturally to them. And that's why we have this little book, because we have found it to be supportive for that very reason, to help parents to go to the Word and to seek wisdom from there to help them in their parenting. You might not agree with everything in the book, but there is just so much sound wisdom in it that whether you take it all or just part of it, I believe it's going to be helpful and supportive to you, because it has to just thousands before now. And there's so much on this topic that is available through various means. And we thought, which one of them all would we pick to make available as an Oikos resource for parents? And this is the one that we chose, Hints on Child Training. I've often said that I'd like to call it Gems on Child Training, because it's just full of gems. That's how I've experienced it, and many others that have read it before me as well. I'd also just like to say that with the many extremes in today's world, what this book has done is it's brought us back onto the straight and narrow. It helps to bring us back onto the straight and narrow and not be quite as influenced by the many extremes that are bombarding us. I'd just like to thank our daughter for doing a beautiful work on the cover of this book. The original cover was fairly plain. And I hope you noticed that I got a beautiful autumn scene here. And I think it blends in very nicely with this book, and a lovely cup of tea. So I'm going to encourage you to get yourself a cup of tea or whatever hot beverage you prefer, and sit down and read this book. And start reading it now and start applying it now, because I don't think you can go wrong.